Okay, in today's class, I'm going to explain in C structures. Okay, C structures. As I told you that these all classes are free classes and they are being conducted under my Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation thrice of a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sharply at 8 p.m. The classes are being conducted. These are very free classes. My intention is I want to reach to the rural villages where the students are not affordable to affordable for expensive classes and they are totally aware of network centers. That's why I want to reach to rural areas so that I can enhance their programming skills. Apart from that, English communication skills also. So anybody is desirous, they can attend my classes. Okay. So now in today's class, today is 29 June 2025. This is Sunday. As per my promise, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days classes will be conducted on any one topic, any C, C++, Java, Python, SQL, JavaScript, any one language, no any issue. Okay. So today we will discuss C structures, okay, C language structures. So first of all, let us discuss the theory. Actually, whenever you want to write the code, first of all, you should know the theory. And whenever you have true knowledge about the theory, then you can write the code. So until unless if you don't have much knowledge about theory, so if you want to write the code, so it is not feasible. Okay, first of all, you should know about what is structures in C language. Then you can write. So structures, they shortly called as structs. Okay, structs. And to create a structure, struct keyword will be used. First of all, let me explain what is structure. Structures are shortly they are called as structs. They are a way to group several related variables. Means what several related variables means if you want to make a group of so many related variables in one place, that is the structure. Means you are structuring related variables. You want to structure means one type of group. So you want to make a group of several related variables. So it is a structure. So each variable in that structure is known as a member of that structure. So every element, every variable in that structure is called a member. So unlike an array generally what happens, in any language like your C, C++, Java, array is array will be able to store only similar elements. If it is integer array, you can store only integers. If it is float array, you can store only float values, decimal values. But structure is it can contain many, we can store different data types. So like integer, float, char, these are different data types. So in structure, what we can do, we can store different data types. It is similar to list in the Python. In Python, list is a data structure. Okay, list will be able to, we can store different data types in list in Python. So in C language, structure is similar to list in Python, but array, if you want to store different data types in any one structure, data structure, so in C, we need to create a structure. Okay. So if you want to store different data types, means integer, float, char, whenever you want to store similar data type, it is called, suppose if you want to store only integers, okay, that is called array, integer array. Okay, now come to the how to create a structure. So we can create structure by using struct keyword. This is very important. So as I told you that if you want to create a class keyword will be used. In the same manner, if you want to create structures, struct keyword will be used. If you want to create enumerated list, enum keyword will be used like that. Okay. So struct keyword will be used to declare each members inside curly braces. Okay. So struct keyword, this is the syntax of the C language. Struct keyword used here, and we need to keep a name for that structure. Any name, it is your name, my name, XYZ, but a suitable name for that structure. Always I suggest you that whenever you want to create any class, object, any method, any function name, variable names, suitable names. I told you that. Okay. That suitable names means it must reflect the purpose. Okay. Your purpose. So my structure, he has given this name. So you can keep your any XYZ. Okay. There is no any problem within this structure. So structure declaration. Whenever flower brace started and closed, so this is called declaration. But within the structure, whenever you keep any variables, they are called variables are defined in a structure. So whenever a class is declared, so class is created, but inside of the class, no any members have not defined. So whenever you define anything, that is called the defining of a class or structure or method, anything. Okay. So here, as we have discussed, what is structure? Structure is a group to to keep uh, different variable types. Okay. Not like array. Array will be used to store similar data types. Here in structure, we can store different data types. Okay, so one variable created, my num is a variable, it is integer data type. One character, that is my letter, is a variable name. It will store character, char type. Okay, so two variables, two are different. One is integer data type, one is char data type. Both have been kept in this structure. Structure name is my structure. Now end the structure with the semicolon in C language. So this semicolon will be used to end structure. Okay. Structure declaration, int variable created, it is a member, char variable is created. Now, if you want to access the structure, we must create a variable for that structure. One variable to be created to access the structure. Use the first struct keyword inside the main method. So like this, what you know, this is the syntax. This is the structure created with the struct keyword. This is a structure name. Inside of the structure, two variables created with the different data type. Now, inside of the main function, we need to create a variable for that structure. Again, inside of the main function, again you need to create use the struct keyword and structure name again. Now you need to create a variable for that structure. This is the structure variable. In further, you will use this structure name, variable name, to access the elements, members. So access structure members. How? To access members of a structure, we need to use the dot operator. First, we will use the structure variable name, then dot operator. See. So structure created, as I told you that structure closed. Now inside of the main function, one structure variable created, create a structure variable of what is structure name? This is structure name, struct keyword used. This is the structure variable. So assign values to members of S1. S1 is the structure variable name. Now, if you want to assign values to structure members, now S1 dot minum. S1 dot minum. Minum is what? Minum is a variable I have created, but I have not assigned any values to this. Just defined in structure. Just my num is a variable. It is a data type defined, not assigned any value. If I want to assign values to members of that structure, so use that structure variable and dot operator and variable name and assign any value. So whenever you want to get print values, you know that printf function will be used. And if you are working with integer values, this format specifier, okay, format specifier D, otherwise I, that will be used for integer values. If you want to work with characters, okay, format specifier percentage C will be used, okay. So return 0. I told you that this is the statement, end of statement. It will indicate that your function is ended. Then after there is no any statement. So now the same code I will explain, okay, how to. So first of all, this is the same code. I want to erase this total code. I told you that this is what your code window. I told you that it is not IDE. IDE means, I told you that IDE is integrated development environment, that is used to write the code, edit the code, compile the code, run the code. Okay. So you need to install like what code blocks, like what code blocks. Code blocks mostly use it to write the code. It is an IDE, IDE integrated development environment to write the code for C and C++ languages. So if you don't want to install any software, okay, for Python, for your Python, Visual Studio can be used. Okay, so for C, Visual Studio can be used for multiple languages, C, C++, Python, even the Java. So understood that. So Code Blocks is an IDE. If you don't want to install any IDE, you can directly go into your web browser, Chrome, otherwise anything, whatever the browser you want to use. There, you can go into any website, w3schools.com, okay, and java-tpoint.com. So many great gigs for geeks are there. So there you can write the code, okay, and you can online, you can write the code, edit the code, compile the code, run the code. This is the code window. This is the result window. If any error is there, here you will get the error also and correct the code again and run again. So now same thing, now same code I am going to explain here. First of all, I told you that what is that include? Include is what? Include for what purpose? To just like import, what do you want to import? stdio. Stdio is what? I told you that this is a standard .h header file library. stdio header file library, which will be dealt with input and output functions. Because if you want to take input from user, scanf function will be used. If you want to work with what output, printf, okay, print you want to take, you want to get display on the screen. So these two functions are part of this std input output standard input out header library. If you want to see all this, just I want to show here. Okay, whenever you come at the end of this, this is the standard stdio dot header library. In this library, a library, I told you that library is what, it has so many files. Okay, or not single file, so many files. I will show how many, every file is a function, how many functions it has. This is one function. So every library has so many functions. Okay, in the previous classes, I told you that. So as I told you that stdio is a library, header file library, which will be used with the input and output functions. Mostly, I told you that what scanf. Scanf is a function that will be used to you get the user input, to get the user input. Okay. And printf is what, printf means to see the display on the screen. Printf writes formatted text. Printf writes formatted string to the console. So to get the display, on the screen. So once you have included your stdio library, this library has so many functions. These are all the functions. Already I told you that what is function? Function is, as I told you, that one somewhat code will be written. So, and that code may be 10 lines of code, 100 lines of code, even the 2 lines of code. The total code will be kept with a name, so that in further you can use that code with a name. Whenever you call that name, and the total code will be executed. So it is called a function. Okay, already I have briefed in the previous classes. So now come to the point. Now what I need to do that, this is stdio dot header file library that will be used to work with input and output functions. Because this output you are seeing on the screen, if you want to see whenever the code is written, and after that it is to be compiled, if there is no any error, it will be executed, and the result will be displayed on the screen. If you want to get this type of display, you need to include this stdio.h library. Okay, now come to the point. First of all, structures. First, you comment yourself here. Okay, two forward slashes will be used to comment single line comment. So, what is our topic today? Structures in C language. Structures in C language. Okay. So first of all, as I told you, the what is structure? I have briefed you that structure is nothing but it is a way to groups different data variables in a list. Okay, it is in Python list. Okay, here it is being called a structure. So different data types. If you want to store different data types. Okay. Now this is the topic. First of all, what we need to do? We need to create a structure. Structure will be created with the struct keyword. Then after name of that structure. What is the name? You can keep any XYZ, your name, my name, Vasu. Doesn't mean, but one name must be kept there. I told you that always we need to keep such a very suitable, appropriate name. So what we are doing, we want to keep different data types. Different data types. So integer, char, boolean, float. Okay. So keep any suitable name. That is what all are the variable of different data types. So different data types, what name we can suggest for us? Not they are not similar data types. All are integer, all are float, not like that. So any name suitable name from your side. Okay, I will keep one type of differ. Suppose differ, differ. Why? Because all are differ. All the data types are differing with each other. This is the okay. Now, then after what we need to do, we need to keep this flower braces open close. Now, one structure is created, structure to be closed with the semicolon. Now, structure declaration. It is called declaration. Declaration why? Because just declared, but its structure is not defined. Defined means inside of this, you need to define anything like variables. Any variables, how many variables, data types? One is int variable, int type of data type. That is keep any name of that, okay, height, okay, height, that is called, it is not defined. So simply it is defined but not assigned. Assigned means we need to keep somewhat value for this. Integer means now what? One variable height, it is integer data type, it stores only integer values. Now it is defined, variable defined and assigned with a value. Understood that? Get my point? But here in structures, they will not be assigned directly. For the structure, we will create a variable. Then by that variable, I will assign the values. Okay. This is one as per structure, different data types. Char is a data type. Okay. And char, suppose we need to create a variable letter. Okay. One variable letter, it stores char, single character. This is different data type. Int is one float. Okay. One float. Okay. Float, any float value like what interest. Okay. Interest means again not int. Okay. Interest. Okay. Interest. Okay. Defined but not assigned. So three different data types I have defined in structure. Okay. Structure is declared with the struct keyword. Structure name is differ. Structure name, any name, XYZ, your name, if you want to keep my name, there is no any problem, Vasu, you write. Okay, XYZ. So always keep a suitable name. Okay, differ. Now three variables created, both all three are different. As per our definition, what is structure? Structure is um structure is what? A group which will hold different data types. Okay, it is a group. Like in Python, it is called list. In Python, Python, it is called list. Okay. Now come to the point. Now, what we need to do? We need to create, okay, int main function. In main function, we need to access, we need to assign the values to the, so this is the main function, okay? Inside of this, again, struct, we need to create a variable for this, okay? Struct, and what is structure? This is the name of structure, and then we need to create a variable, that is struct variable. So suppose if you have created any variable x, y, simple x, okay? This is a variable of this structure differ. So in further, I will use x only to access this structure. Okay. Now, and now what happened? Now, I want to assign. Assign what? I want to assign values to members of the structures. Members of the, what are the members of the structure? Members. What are the members structure? These three are the members. So assign values to members. How? First of all, now every time I will call the structure with this variable. So now x dot, what is the member? Height is a member. It is a integer data type. So height, height is equal to, height is what? You keep any height, 6 feet. Okay. Now close. Now the structure called with any variable. This is called structure variable. Structure variable. Now come to the point. Next word, next data member. What is structure member? X dot. This is letter. Letter. Okay. Is equal letter. Letter is a variable. It is different variable. Okay. It stores only char. Char means always character will be represented in C language. Single quotation marks. Okay. Okay. C. C is a char. Okay. Now come to the next h dot interest. Interest is a variable which stores float. It is a float variable. It is a, so you remove this play gap so that what happened, your code will be okay. So that all the code, you can see the code here. Now interest is what? Interest is float data type. So you store float 8 point decimal value. No. So you have assigned values to all members of the structure. Now how to access? Comment here. Access. Access means print. Print the member values of members. Members of the structure. Members of the structure. You know that. So what is the function? Because I have used this is what include stdio dot header library. Within this, I have shown that two functions are there. One is the scanf function to get the user input, to take the input from the user, and one more function, printf function, I have shown you that. That is will be used to see that this type of output on the screen. So printf function, we need to use what? Printf. Then bracket. I told you that every time function or method, they must have the parenthesis, means brackets. Okay, these are called parenthesis, means brackets. Now inside of that printf, we need to use, this is what? Double quotation marks. Okay. First number is what? Height. If you, okay, height, then after what? You need to use format specifier. That is what? Percentage. So if you are working with height is assigned with what value? Integer value. So either you can percentage, then after either you can use I, otherwise D. Okay. So this format specifier, I told you that in the C language, whenever I have started that moment, I told you that format specifier always help the compiler, C compiler. Now you are working with which type of data type. Okay. You need to means this format specifier always it helps the compiler, C compiler. My dear compiler, now we need to work with which type of data. Now we are working with what? Height is the variable. It is integer variable. Okay, height we have declared as integer into, okay. So now format specifier, if I need to mention here D, otherwise I letter. And then after we need to call here, what is that? X dot height. Okay. Let us see X dot height. Okay. Oh, this is okay. First one statement, we will check back that whether it will be executed, otherwise not executed. That moment we run this code here. If everything is your code is right, now you will get the result here. Height you are getting, height is 6. Very nice. But height comma 6 rather than height comma 6, I just keep here is equal to, so height is equal to, no need to keep this comma here. Now run this code, height is equal to 6, you will get here. Height is equal to 6. Very nice, you are getting. So next we will call we will get display of all the members of the data structure. You copy and paste here, and here you change. This is what, next is what? Then after height, what is the next variable? Letter and interest. Letter. Okay. Whenever letter is what? This character type. So you need to use the format specified here C. Okay. Now you X dot, that is what? Letter. Okay. You need to write letter. Now one more time you paste here. Okay. Now you change this height as what, what is the variable we have created, that is interest. Okay. You write here interest. Okay. Is equal to, now interest is a variable that is float type. So I need to keep the format specified here F. Okay. Now I need to change this X dot is what, which type of, that is what our interest variable. So you need to mention here X dot, X is a structure variable, interest. Okay. Okay. Now you run this code. So all that values are displayed. But see what happened here. What happened here? You are getting all the result in single line. But I want to get every line separate. That moment, what I need to do that one. Okay. That is what backslash n. Backslash n. Backslash n, what it does. So this is a next line character. Okay, if you want to see each and every line separately, so you need to use backs. This is called, you are getting, okay. So in the here also you use one more, okay, next line character, otherwise backspace character. So now you will get all separately, you will get results separate one by one. See, height is equal to 6, letter is C, okay, interest is equal to this much. So this is the way to represent, this is the way to create a structure in C language. As I told you that whenever you want to write the code, first of all, you should be able to understand the theory. Actually, what is structure? What is method? What is class? What is object? Until unless if you don't have right knowledge, if you want to write the code, it is difficult. So you should have the idea of each and every line of the code. What this code written, this statement you have written here, what is the meaning of that? This is the declaration of a structure. How to declare the structure? Struct keyword must be used. Then we need to give a name of that structure. Then inside of the structure, what we need to do? Structure is what? It is a way to group different data types, different variables, which will hold different data type. Like in Python, it is a list. Okay. So different data type, int, char, float. Then after, for every structure, a variable to be created, so that in further, if I want to assign values to that structure and then I want to access them. So I will not call every time differ structure name. I will call a variable. So by that variable, Okay, values to be assigned for the data members. These are the members. The variables are called members, okay, of that structure. So I have assigned the values as per their data type. Height is a integer data type. Integer data, so I have stored integer. Letter is a character data type, so I have stored one character only.